$66,500 as we speak. It is breaking the charts behind us. It is so volatile today. BlackRock is accumulating new altcoins. In today's episode, we're going to be diving into why we haven't had an alt season in over 1,000 days. So guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, turn on those notifications, and of course, stick around because we got a lot of data to run in through today. Of course, I have on the sticks with me, TJ behind the scenes with me. DZ, unfortunately, he's got a bucket of water in his basement right now, and he is getting all of the flood out of his basement from the hurricane that did just hit Georgia. So no DZ for today's episode. But guys, wow, these markets are at $66,400. We're going to do something we haven't necessarily done in a very long time on that channel, and that is start off by opening up a trade. So Bitcoin getting this massive breakout right now. If you guys don't know, in our Telegram, I teach us how to trade completely for free. We have 5 full-time traders in there, and we are watching the liquidation charts right now. So there's a lot of people coming into this market. We're getting a short squeeze here up to the $66,700, up to almost $67,000 range. And this is where I'm going to be looking to probably enter a scalp short sometime during this live stream. So if you see me 30, 45 minutes into this, bounce back to the charts, it might be because I'm just opening up a trade here. We are watching imbalances be created underneath us, but again, we're getting a beautiful short squeeze, and I know you guys are seeing it in the chat. You guys, Arrow, I saw someone say they're up $15,000 on Aerodrome. Let me know what altcoins in your portfolio in the comments are doing the best, because shout out to all the Aerodrome holders out there. Aerodrome and Velodrome have been absolutely ripping this week. There's even a lot of tokenization plays. And there's, of course, a project that TJ has been screaming from the rooftops, I feel like, since I got back, which is Wormhole, with BlackRock's BUIDL program taking the lead on these markets today. So let's get into a market update. I'm going to enter this. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to enter this position more than likely once we even got more short squeezes pushing us up towards that $67,000 range. What I personally want to see, and we're coming into this moment, is this RSI way overextended all the way on the hourly. We're already barely overextended on the 30-minute. Again, I'm just looking for that one market maker candlestick that wipes out a lot of those positions. And then I'm going to open up a scalp trade with you guys here and show you how we scalp trade very effectively on our channel here. And of course, if you guys don't know, we closed a $2,500 trade just yesterday alone. So absolutely crushing it here in the Telegram. But market update, guys. Bitcoin here, $65,000. Wow, let me update that. $66,500. Ethereum here, $2,700. Almost absolutely insane. Solana, $160. XRP, man, I left for vacation. I feel like XRP is still at the same price despite all these market movements.
Did you see the latest news with XRP?
No, give me an update.
Well, it's not bullish. It's basic, and it will still remains to be seen on this, but apparently they're seriously, everybody over at the SEC is talking about appealing Judge Torres decisions because they just feel like it's very wrong, which doesn't, it could just put more negative pressure on XRP. Not saying they would win that appeal, not saying that appeal would even go through, but just another lawsuit potentially hanging over the head of XRP after they just what they just went through is just crazy. So
was that from earlier this week or last
I think
2 weeks?
Ellie Tourette was reporting on it last night that she's hearing from insiders at the SEC that almost everybody there feels like it was a wrong legal decision and they're going to be appealing it. So
look, I think selling the majority of my XRP for other altcoins was some of the best decisions we've ever made. Ondo's back up to, we didn't get the other buy order here, but that's even up back to 85 cents. A lot of green on these charts. We have Dogecoin here, 12 cents, almost 13 cents. Toncoin, $6 now. But the top movers here, okay? Top movers in the last 24 hours. I'm about to click on this, guys. I want to see you all wake up, okay? The markets are coming back. We're getting a little bit of movement. And let's just say this. At 300 likes today, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys some of the craziest alpha and the biggest tip you need on being prepared for what's about to happen if Bitcoin breaks past $70,000. You need to know this, and if you don't know this, you're at a disadvantage in these cycles. So make sure you guys hit that like button today. But in the 24 hours here, guys, last 24 hours, Shiba Inu up 24.4%. Floki, Pepe, meme coins are leading the alt market, and this is interesting because what this tells us is generally when you see Bitcoin pump or Ethereum pump historically off these cycle charts, and TJ can probably speak on this as well, when Bitcoin and Ethereum and the larger caps are moving, usually you'll see meme coins bleeding, and that's because people generally are taking profits and moving them out. So this just means markets are extra bullish right now. There's a lot of liquidity moving back into these markets, primarily because, of course, the Federal Reserve interest rate cut. You have what's happening in China with their injections of liquidity too. There's some decent excitement around that. But then Wormhole, TJ, wow. This is like every day I've been back. It's been a leader in the markets here. Can you explain a little bit what's happening with Wormhole?
Wormhole is another one of these interoperability plays where you can get chain to chain. They're using it with the BUIDL fund to tokenize treasuries, or basically BlackRock's USTB, I think is what it's called, USDTB, or maybe it's just USTB. So it's really interesting. I'm seeing a pattern with interoperability plays. A lot of coins on Cosmos doing well. Arrow, obviously, on Base allows for a lot of this stuff. We've seen Cosmos do well. We've seen Layer 0 do well. So this is another interesting angle to me. It's something I'm looking at, both decentralized exchanges and interoperable protocols that help chains work together. But I really do feel this is an institutional cycle. We're really starting to see it. The other thing that was interesting, an observation that somebody, I wish I could remember the account on Twitter, made last night, we're starting to see, and this is how we know things are bullish, things are risk on, we're starting to see when news comes out, coins pumping off that news. So basically the news came out a couple of days ago that BlackRock was using, what was the other? It was, it's Wormhole and what was, Athena and Wormhole for their BUIDL fund, USD. And then immediately on that day, pump both of those things. In the past, that same news, like you go back 6 months, that same news drops, you would have looked it up and there would have been no price action. So we're starting to see money is ready and waiting and looking for a place to go. And as soon as it gets some positive news, it flows in there. And so the market has moved back into risk on, cash flow in, low cap coins. Because I think I was looking at even Aerodrome, I mean, it's not even a top 100 coin on CoinMarketCap yet. I think
it's like the biggest gainer today.
Yeah, it's crushing it. It's absolutely 24%. Crushing it. And it is the play of institutions, and we have to be ready for this. Institutions are going to lead this cycle. So we need to watch, what is Coinbase Ventures doing? Exactly what you've been doing. What is the BUIDL fund doing? What is, where are they positioning themselves? Because what they do is they figure out which products they're going to use. They go buy a bunch of it. And then when the news comes out that they're using it, it pumps like crazy. So we covered it on this stream. We looked it up. I think we first started talking about Arrow back in like January or February. We covered it when Coinbase Ventures bought. They bought a really good spot, and they bought a lot of it. And it's because they knew they were going to be using Aerodrome Finance to facilitate wrapped Bitcoin. The CB Bitcoin on Coinbase they're using Aerodrome to do that. And Aerodrome immediately sucked up most of the Bitcoin DeFi on Base. So to me, Aerodrome Finance, one of the best plays on Base. You look at Injective, another decentralized exchange on Cosmos, or interoperable exchange on Cosmos. We're starting Layer 0. We're starting to see a trend with some of the biggest winners when it comes to altcoins being things that are interoperable and that actually serve a purpose for institutions to create what they're trying to create. Yeah. So it's going to be a great cycle. I'm pumped.
And I think you bring up a really good point there too, is like, watch the altcoins. Like 6 months ago, that same news story would have had zero effect on the market. So is it retail money that's moving into it, or is it like institutions going, holy smokes, these are big movements, and positioning themselves? Because institutions are the ones that are sitting on the sidelines with billions in stable coins. So where are those stables moving? Yeah,
exactly. They're also sitting on the sidelines with billions in money market accounts that are no longer viable with these rates changing. And it's like, all right, we've got billions, if not trillions of dollars that we need to deploy somewhere. I mean, the BNY Mellon being able to custody assets, that's a huge thing. Yeah. They're, the biggest custodian in the world, one of the oldest banks in the world, is now going to be able to custody Bitcoin. They literally destroyed other businesses. Silvergate Bank, Silicon Valley Bank got destroyed, no longer allowed to custody crypto assets because of SAB 121. BNY Mellon gets a pass. And so it's like, it's literally the old money pushing out these new, pushing out the players that were up and coming. Also CZ, another example of that, being released today. So they pushed out Jesse Powell, they pushed out CZ, they pushed out all these people that built this industry.
Today or in the 29th?
He's scheduled for Sunday, but it's an early release because it's a Sunday. So he's actually getting out today.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Is that why we're moving so hard?
Who knows? He
came out of jail and he spot bought on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I have to completely agree with you. I think it's definitely an institutional game. This is going to open us up to more institutional narratives. But we're watching Bitcoin right now, guys. Huge EI here, 22. So we're probably about to rip a little bit higher into today's episodes. But I want to ask chat here before I get to the first article, okay? Type 1 in chat if you're bullish. Type 2 in chat if you're bearish. Because when we do look at FOMO, when we bring up our fear and greed index, we actually still have room to go, which is something to definitely pay attention to. When you're on that daily here, on that 24-hour time frame, we are at 61, actually it just updated, 61 greed. So greed's not like at a max or an extreme greed factor just yet. So I'm very curious to see where Chad is at with this, because generally when you get to that 75, that 80, that 90 extreme greed in these markets, that's when you have that pullback. So definitely plenty of upside here to these markets. And of course, if you guys haven't seen this on X, we're doing a $100 giveaway right now if you guys want to go enter that. But meme coin market, guys, let's start off this stream really, really fun here because meme coin markets are up 19%. Doge, Pepe indicate bullish price action. This is out of, and we're going to get to Arthur Hayes in just a second, but meme coins market cap. So we're talking about the entire market cap space, not just, 4 or 3 one-off meme coins that are surging 19%, but the overall whole sector surged by 19%. The cumulative market cap of the meme coin market has been in the green after gaining around 19% in one day. The meme market capitalization stands at a massive $56 billion as of today. $56 billion.
Jeez.
The top gainers in the last 24-hour time frame includes Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe, Dog with Hat, and let me know in the chat what meme coins you're holding that are pumping, because I know a lot of them, like Duke, are up like literally 100% in the last week. It's insane. At the time of writing, Doge has gained 8% in 24 hours, but technical crypto analyst Captain Fabic on X here notes that Dogecoin has completed a falling wedge pattern as the price forms lower highs and lower lows with the converging trend line. So if we pull up this post here on X, we could be about to see a massive breakout here. And let me go to the full tab here. Wow. Yeah. So falling wedge here on Dogecoin's price action. The upside to this, let me zoom in for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and zoom all the way in so you guys can see this for all the people that have terrible eyes like me. The breakout here that he is showing would be roughly anywhere from 19 cents to 22 cents. Let me know in the chat if you agree with that, but that is a massive breakout for me. I'm showing that a lot of liquidity would be into this market. And again, we have to break out of this. We broke out of it today. So this is actually a little bit, this was a daily chart yesterday. So we have officially broken out of this falling wedge for Dogecoin. We're currently sitting at almost 13 cents, which means we're already moving into this uptrend here with, again, a price prediction or range high of 21 pennies. How do you feel about that, TJ?
I feel excited. It's great. I mean, Dogecoin often leads the altcoin cycle. We see movements on Dogecoin beforehand. Obviously, there's some fun coming with Elon and the Department of Government Efficiency. It would be amazing to see that if that happens. I actually saw Selkis, Ryan Selkis, 2-bit idiot from formerly Masari, a really good guy. He's basically saying he would commit his whole career to building a tech stack for the government to make things so much more efficient. And they can eliminate tons of federal, job waste that's going on within the federal government using technology. Everybody know, if you've ever worked for government, they are way behind on technology because they're not incentivized to actually be efficient and innovate. So if there is a possibility now, I don't want to get too optimistic because I really don't trust a lot of the people that operate governments. But if we could get a scenario where we really start putting some of the best and brightest minds, the Elon Musks that can actually run a very efficient program, Ryan Selkis doing a tech stack, into trying to make our government more efficient, how much, the amount of waste they could cut out would be absolutely insane. Now, will that happen? Am I over optimistic? I don't know. But speaking of meme coins, I wanted to ask you this, Josh, because I know you've been out of town, you've been offline for a little while, but you are, our crypto TikTok person. Have you been following or are you aware of the Moodang movement?
Moodang.
Do you know what it is?
Isn't that the hippo?
It is the hippo.
Yeah. They didn't hit like $100 million in market cap.
That's one of the hottest memes right now. I'm not saying run out and buy it because that could go away real quick. But that would be one of the hottest meme coins out there right now, and it's fun. It reminds me like Harambe would have been an incredible one back in the day. The funny animal meme coins will never stop, in my opinion. It's always going to be a fun thing. And when you see that happening, you just know there's excitement in the market, there's money in the market, and things are flowing. So
yeah, memes aren't going to go anywhere, especially if a certain party does win. Again, the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency.
that's great.
Like,
So funny.
Guys, meme coins are worth $56 billion. That is not going to slow down. It doesn't trickle down from here. This is the new era of sports betting. It's what Gen Z's and millennial is into. So this is not going to slow down. It's only going to ramp up. And so something to pay attention to. But Mudang, yeah. All I say, guys, with meme coins is understand they're like the slot machines, right? So if you're up, take your profits, take your initials, etc., right? Don't plan on that meme coin retiring and buying a giant 180-foot yacht that can be sunk from a tornado spout off the coast of Italy. Okay, I just saying. But amid the meme coins explosion, meme whales have been active in the market. Sentiment charts are as cited by analyst Ali Martinez revealed that Dogecoin whales accumulated 1.4 billion tokens worth to close 140 million in just 2 days. So there's definitely big whales and insiders that are moving back into this game. And one of those whales is none other than Arthur Hayes, who after ATH, which was Athena, correct? You have Arthur Hayes turns to accumulate meme coin Pepe. In the past 2 hours, Arthur Hayes, Crypto Hayes.
No, just real quick, ATH is Aether, not
Aether. Thank you. Yeah. Gotta get back in that crypto injection back into my brain.
Another one to watch, though. A lot of people talking about Aether. I don't know too much about it off the top of my head. I'm looking at some of these other ones currently, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it.
He's also the same person that was super into Athena, correct?
He could have been,
yes. Which you see a lot of the talks around those yield coin stables. Like all those yield percentages are going to be really big for DeFi this cycle. But in the past 2 hours, this was from earlier today, Arthur Hayes deposited $1 million to Binance and withdrew $252,000 worth of Pepe. So does he know something we don't, or is Pepe about to have a massive breakout? Wow, that's a big bag Pepe here. It's been 1,051 days since the last altcoin season. Yikes, that is depressing. Crypto markets are giving hints of alt season. Sadly, we're not there yet. As with most things around these parts, there are hardly any formal definitions on which we all agree. Does a Bitcoin bear market start when it corrects over 20% from its local top, as in the case with the traditional finance? Obviously not, according to this article here. The total crypto market cap has jumped almost 20% since earlier this month, swelling by over $360 billion to $2.35 trillion. Altcoins are responsible for about 40% of those gains, with the rest coming from, of course, Bitcoin. One sometimes cited index says an alt season starts when 3/4 of the top 50 coins have performed better than Bitcoin over the last 90 days. Only 34%, so we're not in alt season even close.
No.
Only 34% of the top 50 have beaten Bitcoin across that period. No alt season throughout history, although there was a very brief period at the start of the year where those conditions were actually met. So we still have quite a ways to go here for altcoin season. I'm going to give you guys my kind of tip on this.
Can you zoom that in just a little bit?
Yeah. Let me go.
Yeah. Oh, way better. That's perfect.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're further away from alt season here than May. Cycled excluding top 10, and then Bitcoin's price here. September bounce. Man, it's kind of funny. Wake me up when September ends. That really ended up playing out perfectly here. But what I think is going to happen is this. For anybody out there that's into a lot of Bitcoin layer 2s, Bitcoin runes, Bitcoin DeFi, and just altcoins in general, it's $70,000 Bitcoin. After $70,000 Bitcoin happens and we break past that, I think that is going to be a very key level for your venture capitals and your $1 million marketing funds to start being exposed back to the market. And those marketing funds, guys, are going to be what equate to the 3, the 4, the 500% gains that everybody so loves and have, waited for such a long period of time. So my tip here today, I'm getting ahead of myself. Tap that like button here. I'm going to give you a crazy tip, an alpha move in the crypto markets. If we hit 300 likes on today's episode,
we are at 222 right now.
222. So we're almost there. But we need to hit 300 for me to give you guys that alpha tip here. So back to the article. Alt season potentially starts when the crypto market cap of the entire crypto market, minus the top 10, eclipses that of Bitcoin starting from the cycle bottom. So we got plenty of room here. When do you think altcoin season is going to start, TJ?
I mean, I agree with your analysis there. What you just said makes a lot of sense to me. I do believe Generally speaking, it should be, I would say it's probably going to be going crazy March, April, May of next year. That's when we're going to see some of the crazy pumps. But I'm ready to start accumulating some serious altcoins right now. Like you guys, we've been talking about staying heavy Bitcoin, heavy Ethereum, maybe some Chainlink, maybe some other stuff, but I'm still almost primarily across the board, all portfolios allocated to Bitcoin, waiting for this Bitcoin dominance to go. I've been happy to do that because a lot of these alts have been getting wrecked against it. But right here, I mean, Aether, I did look it up again, and Kelly mentioned it in the chat. He learned a lot about it. Token 2049. It's another decentralized GPU play. It's going to be good for AI and DePIN type stuff. That's one that's actually had a pretty good accumulation zone. Arrow, I'm ready to start unloading some major clips into Arrow. I'm kind of regret I didn't do it at the beginning of the week. 6-figure buys.
Hey, Velo's still following.
Yeah, Velo, and it's a lower market cap. The main thing I like about Arrow, though, is that it sucked up all the Bitcoin DeFi, and that Coinbase is behind it. Yeah. BlackRock is behind it. Not saying Velodrome isn't a good product, but it just...
Well, the reason why I like Velodrome is because they're the parent company of Arrow. Right. So I think it's kind of like, but it's weird how that worked. It'd be like if XRP launched XLM, but XLM passed XRP.
Right.
So it is kind of that weird double-edged sword, but it is a lower market cap.
But no, I think alt season will happen very quickly, and now is the time to start. Like, we will see Bitcoin pump. We're going to see some big moves. If you want to hold out a little bit longer, I don't blame you for waiting for maybe January to start really heavy accumulating alts. But right now, this Q4, I'm going to be looking to accumulate heavy things like Aerodrome, things like injective, things, especially interoperable plays. Layer 0 is one I like. I listed a bunch before the stream. I think we put them on the thumbnail, but now is the time to start building those positions. If you guys have been putting all your money into altcoins this whole time, not listening to our advice on the channel, hey, can't say that I blame you. Altcoins do seem more fun than Bitcoin, but I've been very happy to be heavy into Bitcoin now. But now is the time to start rounding out those portfolios with those things that you think will 5x, 10x, 20x, 30x, that it will happen. It's going to shock people. I agree with what you said. Once we start getting above 70, 75, I think Bitcoin makes a really fast move to 100 once we clear those levels and sustain them. And then our altcoins will be ripping during that time. And it'll be Bitcoin pumps, settles in around that 70, 75, altcoins massive rally. Boom. Yeah. Bitcoin makes a jump from 70 to 100. Huge rally for altcoins while it hangs out there. Again, Bitcoin moves from 100, 125, 150, altcoins massive rally then. And yeah, now is the time. Like I said yesterday, I couldn't be more excited. It's money making time. Let's go. Yeah, let's hype up the chat a little bit, because I'm gonna give you guys spam W. I want everybody to wake up. Spam W's in the chat. Let's get everybody active here really quick while you hit that like button. Just spam W in those comments. I'm gonna share with you guys a product that actually hasn't moved that much yet. That is similar to Aether here, but is a part of that sector that I believe is going to be dominant. Because to George Martinez question in the chat, with shout out for being a part of the alliance out here, how long do you think alt season will last? I think this alt season is going to be different than all alt season. And saying that this time is different, I know is historically something that traders don't like to say, but I don't believe we're going to have the same type of ICO craze that we saw in 2021, nor is 2017. The reason why is personal savings rates are still in the gutter, which means the middle class, the retail audience that was behind all of that driven artificial pump from 2021 and 2017 isn't going to have the same effect as the institutional inflows coming into this market. So to TJ's point earlier today, where that article from BlackRock really caused a massive surge in Wormhold's prices and the whatever 50, 60, 70, 80% gain we have, I think it's going to be more narrative focused. So there's still going to be an alt season, but that alt season is going to be like, for example, AI, artificial intelligence. It might be GPU rendering. It might be, it could be meme coins because some large casino enters the scene, right? DePIN maybe. It could be DePIN. And so really focus. It's going to take a lot more research this cycle to take advantage of the opportunity. Even though there's going to be more opportunity this cycle, it's not going to be the same as 2021. I think TJ could laugh at this too. But you used to be able to just walk in with like $100 and throw it at a sticky wall, and whatever altcoin it like stuck to, it like doubled. And I just don't think we're going to see that same type of activity this cycle, because there's tens of thousands of more projects now. So just a little bit more research, but same type of opportunity. Yeah, I agree. It's part of the market maturing, right? Like, we're getting more mature players in this market. We're getting more sophisticated investors. So you really will need to identify what's a problem, what's a solution, what's the team behind it, what's the money behind it, can they accomplish what they've set out to do, and then put your money there. I think Aave is a perfect example of that. Seeing how well it's operated, and it's been around a long time. I think we're going to see an uptick in on-chain. We're going to see an uptick in DeFi type products. Again, I've mentioned Injective. I've mentioned Aerodrome Finance. That's a decentralized exchange, basically. We're seeing that happen across the board. Near Protocol, another one, been around a while, fits into several of those narratives. So finding the coins that fit, like to Josh's point, that fit the narrative that is trending right now, which is going to be AI. We all know there's big money. Silicon Valley loves AI. The big funds love AI. So we're seeing that trend. So if it can check AI and DePIN and institutional and interoperable, those are some of the coins I'm looking at.
So here's the coin. And I'm going to, we hit 300 likes. So I'm going to give you guys the tip and the coin real quick before we get to the alt season article here. Number one is going to be, guys, it is Render. Render, I think, is going to be hitting this comeback here. It's at $6.62. We were looking at that $5 range. If you guys remember, we were calling for this major support level, not because of the price, but because of the market cap. So when you click on market cap, check it out, guys. It hovered around that previous peak here, found some major support, and this was a great entry point. But I think Render, specifically because Sora is coming out, we're going to have text to video, a chat GPT, AI being able to artificially create all of this video rendering. Rendering will be big in, of course, 2025. So that's one token here. And the tip for you guys, okay? Thank you for all the likes coming in. The tip is this. When we break past $70,000 in Bitcoin, okay, all of the traders you haven't seen that have kind of left the scene for the last 2 years, they left the bear market. They were wrong. They said it was going to go down by 90%. They were calling for $36,000 Bitcoin. Then they were calling for $9,000 Bitcoin. They said 15K wasn't going to be the bottom. They're going to come back, and they're going to come back with a new type of vengeance. That vengeance is this. As those marketing portfolios open back up from the VCs, the most excessive amount of shilling you will ever see is going to enter this scene. So the tip for you guys this cycle around is, you know better. Take profits. If you're up 100% on a position, take out your initials. Be prepared and have that risk management strategy. Because I'm telling you right now, $70,000 Bitcoin, they are all going to come back. And I know you guys know this, because if you're on TikTok, there's almost no crypto content on TikTok anymore. Almost everybody has completely left. There's very few of us that are still sticking around. You're going to see more crypto content than ever. And just remember, by the time some, young little white kid like me was doing this back in 2021, buy these altcoins. When you see that, just make sure you take those profits. And that is my tip for you guys here today. And I think that is extremely base to talk about. But altcoins here, the alt season index is forming a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern over 3.5 years. Oh my God. And is about to break out. This, that is insane to look at. Look at this. 3.5 years. That is incredibly bullish. So 3.5 years, that is a reverse head and shoulders pattern, which usually, guys, you're looking at a massive breakout here. And in this case, would probably be comparable to 2021, 2022. There's a lot of positive altcoin price actions in projects that did very, very well throughout those periods. Even into 2023, we had that massive October 2022, or was that this year? Was it March this year? It was 2023 to March this year was the AI sector. Time flies by in crypto, and I'm even starting to get gray hairs because of it. And I'm getting kind of worried because I'm only 27. So actually, I turned 27 in 3 days. So almost a birthday here. But Bitcoin's pumping. But crypto markets add 70 billion daily as Bitcoin price rises to 8-week peak. We're getting a bad network here. So let's check out the price of Bitcoin real quick. Everything's breaking. 66.2. So are we about to get this breakout? We're about to get this breakout here. But Bitcoin,
push that in again. Sorry, and you're probably going to have to do that on several of these. No. Just zoom the article.
Oh, yeah, here.
There you go. Way better.
Can I do this?
Yeah, it looks great.
Cool. Chat, give me ones in the chat if that's better. Bitcoin's price gains, and that's so much better for me too, because my
I normally we've been doing it on DZ's computer. I just got to remind Johnny to zoom all the windows.
I just got to remember to do it too in the day. It's because I'm like over here squinting my eyes. But Bitcoin's price gains continued in the past 24 hours. The asset shot up almost to $66,000 for the first time since August 1st. Of course, we have crushed that number. The altcoins are also in the green with ETH over $2,700, while BNB has jumped above $600 amid rumors that Binance's former CEO CZ will be released today. Bitcoin eyes $66,000. The primary cryptocurrency has been on a roll since last Wednesday when the Federal Reserve cut the interest rate by 50 basis points. At the time, the asset stood below $60,000, but quickly reclaimed that level and surged massively since last Friday. It retraced and calmed during the weekend, but the current business week began with another surge towards $65,000. So what's about to happen? Are we going to see 70K, or are we about to go back down to $63,000? Well, Bitcoin was stopped there twice, once on Monday and again on Wednesday, and pushed south to under $63,000 just yesterday. Of course, seeing a little bit of, in my opinion, this is market makers taking advantage of that liquidity range. But the bulls kept their foot on the pedal, and they initiated another leg up today. This culminated in Bitcoin jumping over $65,000 and approaching now $67K to mark an 8-week peak. This comes amid the growing demand for Bitcoin spot ETFs in the States. And of course, we're seeing a lot of inflows from this Bitcoin spot ETFs. Bitcoin balance on exchanges, pointed out by Vivek here for real on X, just hit an all-time low. So this is very basic economics, guys. With less supply available and more demand, the price goes up. Very simple. If there's less demand and more supply, the price goes down. So when you're looking at Bitcoin's exchange reserve, and I get like spammed with phone calls here, but balances on exchanges just hitting that all-time low goes to show, guys, that there's more accumulation than ever. People are moving their Bitcoin off exchanges, just like you guys should be, of course, with your Arculus wallet. If you haven't already, guys, this studio is, of course, sponsored and powered by Arculus. One tap total security, guys. You need to get your crypto off exchanges. If you guys aren't trading with your crypto, there really should be no reason why it's sitting on that exchange, because when that bear market does come back, whether it's 3 months, 12 months, maybe hopefully never, but it always comes back. You guys want to have that crypto off those exchanges. And of course, seeing institutions and all these whales pull their crypto off those exchanges is incredibly bullish for these markets.
Real quick, we got a super chat from David Smith asking, does Casper's partnership with IBM's AI governance protocol Prove AI sound like a good buying point to you guys? What do you think?
So Casper is, it's been around for a good amount of time. Another smart contract protocol. Their devs were actually very early on when I was doing Twitch streams back in the days when I met them. So they're still developing, but the partnership with IBM, it's really just what they make of it. So there's a lot of partnerships out there where a project will say we're partnered with Amazon, and they're really just using Amazon Web Service, which any project can do. So for me, I don't know enough, David, to give you a full rundown on what that partnership is going to look like. But it's really what they can actually do with that. So you said AI governance protocol, Prove AI. Sound like a good buying point. Interesting. It's just interesting. I know, for example, IBM did just partner with, I believe it was Constellation DAG, correct? The host the hackathon?
Yes.
So I did pull this up. What I would say, David, is there is a AI conference here. It's called High Def. It's HYDEF for you guys listening in, Conference of 2024. And this is where Constellation DAG, which they're another partner of us, but they're covering a massive amount of AI, DPIN, storage, and all that type of content for you guys. That is later this month. So this is going to be another kind of AI innovation conference that expresses what IBM and a lot of products that have built part of their hackathon are doing. So you can probably get a lot more information about IBM and what they're developing with products like Constellation DAG, or in this case, Casper, by tuning into this High Def conference. And you can actually, guys, register on their website. We'll put a link in the description for you guys. You can join this virtually. So you don't have to go all the way to San Francisco and fight your way through the zombie herds of the streets or hordes of the street. You can actually tune in virtually. So make sure you guys go check that out, and shout out to DAG again. But it's a great question, and I would very much pay attention to IBM as they're a huge, large government contractor. There's a lot of development taking place there with the AI sector.
I will say I pulled up the chart on Casper. Not something that gets me excited. It's down 98, almost 99% down. You have it up. Go to the max.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So
that's beautiful.
Unless there's something really, I would check all their on-chain analytics and see if people are actually using it.
167 mil market cap.
Yeah,
that's incredible dilution. Let me see
insane.
Market cap here.
So I would be careful with that one. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So it looks like they have a disgusting amount of dilution. But again, I don't know enough about the project. I know it was kind of hyped up around the ISO 222 phase, and that's all I'd really I would say tune into that conference this month if you want to learn more about that.
Another super chat.
Casper is sponsoring that conference. Oh, so actually, yeah, that's the conference you need to go watch then.
Yeah.
So go watch there. Yeah, that's that. Thank you, veteran in the chat here.
I will say it's at a bottom, so it could be a good buying opportunity. If you believe in Casper, now's probably a good time to buy it. But versus any other time in the past. Another super chat from Mike Anthony. Where would you put 100 G's? And where would it be 2 years from now? Most growth possible, medium risk. I've got my answer because I'm actually about to do this. But what about you, Josh?
Medium risk. I would slap that on a 3x long on Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Or maybe 2x. If I guess that'd be lower risk. But you said medium risk. So
yeah, he said medium risk.
That depends. I would put it. Why not do a 3x if you're going? Yeah, I mean, I want to put it on. Why put it on an altcoin where you could just throw it on? Like if Bitcoin's gonna go. That's 100K. Like you're in such a good position because you don't have to take the risk on of going and getting into a risky altcoin asset that is brand new, right? You can do Ethereum. You could do these 2x longs that could be really beneficial. I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 100K and you're on 3x, I mean, dude, you just made literally like 2 doctor salaries. Like that's insane.
So yeah, you're saying you'd put it on Bitcoin on a 3x a year. What did you say? 2 years from now? 2 years. You don't want to know what it would be 2 years from now. You want to know what it'd be 1 year from now. Mm-hmm. 2 years from now, it might not be great, but 1 year from now, that would probably be if you had, say Bitcoin goes I was over 100K, you'd be printing there. For me, what I'm about to do, I would, I'm just going to throw it all on Arrow. I'd throw 100K, just slap it all on Arrow, and I'd be expecting to pull at least 500K back out.
Yeah, someone said for 2 years. Like, guys, I'm not in the markets in 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Again, guys, you're going to want to be looking you're going to want to be looking to exit these markets around summer to fall, Q3, Q4 of 2025, most likely. You're not going to want to be holding this into 2020. Like, if you hold it into this time in 2026, you're going to have a bad time. I'm just telling you from experience in the market. This is not going to just keep running. You're going to want to pull that out in about 12 months.
Yeah, so you'll notice that the peaks of bull runs, guys, are literally weeks. So you have, if you're holding for 2 years, you could have, this would have been all of this. So you could have bought here and then sold here again. So it's just, you got to just pay attention to those markets. I would say if I'm up massively, though, with 100K, I trade position size right now with decent leverage in our Telegram here. I'll even show you actually on X here. So this was an 11x leverage. I'm using a margin of about $22,000 here. It wasn't our full position or portfolio or anything. But this ended up being a 20, and I just scalp traded. As soon as it was up, I just took the profit. And the market's up today, but I don't care. I'm up $2,500 from yesterday. So it's like, you have to have risk management, and it completely depends on who you are, where you're at in your life. Maybe that's your retirement. You shouldn't be on any leverage. Why not just put it in Bitcoin if you're just looking at that for 10 years from now? Entirely up to you. But yeah, I agree with TJ in a lot of ways as well. So Bitcoin DeFi September data with its rise. What is the biggest reason for the rise? Analysts explained. Leading cryptocurrency, Bitcoin rose above $65,000. Bitcoin's rise is continuing strong linked to the Fed's monetary policy. Other central bank interest rate cuts are helping the rise, but the Fed's decision have stronger impacts on Bitcoin. So this is where, we're getting crazy movement. The 50 basis point wasn't expected. There's a lot of debate out there right now on how long is this going to last? Is it going to run up to the election cycle? We have no idea. So just realize that not only is it the Fed monetary policy, China's easing their policies. And again, this isn't none of this, I have to make this clear, is beneficial to retail necessarily. It's beneficial to the banks and the institutions. So follow the banks and the institutions when you are watching the money flow into these markets here. That's why a lot of the movement is taking place. And it's actually a perfect explanation on why Bitcoin is leading the majority of the market. It's why we're not having an altcoin season. So everything we've already discussed with me and TJ today, it's because Bitcoin is already announced not a security. It's got the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Institutions are able to access it in a lot stronger of a way. Right. Mike Anthony here.
Another follow, same guy. So he said, what if I put the entire amount into Solana? Good move or no?
Solana's higher risk. It's a lot more volatile.
Yeah, higher risk than Bitcoin, lower risk than Aerodrome, which is what I said. So
that would be your medium risk rate if you're just spot buying, right? So again, it's up to you. Why not just do I follow 50, 25, 25, right? Why not 50 into Bitcoin ETH, 25% into Solana, and 25% it's like Aerodrome and Ondo, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe diversify it a little bit.
That's pretty conservative. But yeah, I wouldn't hate it if you threw it all into Solana and just sat back. You know, like you'll probably do well on this cycle from Solana. Solana will do good. It's not necessarily, we've got 100K sitting in Solana right now. We're just going to let it sit. And yeah, I think that's an easy 5X from here. And that's not a bad play. I would just go, I'm leaning a little bit more riskier. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your funds. So it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Someone said 50 basis point was expected. Guys, I consider expected to be 70% or more chance that it's going to actually take place. It was like 50-50 up until the week
it was
of.
The most,
it was not expected.
It was the most unpredictable Fed meeting we've had in a long time. And
definitely
now,
not expected.
I think the odds now are even calling for another 50 basis
Another
points.
50 basis points. And so that's where the debate's coming into, did the Feds get it wrong, like transitory inflation? And that means, are we going to have a sell-off in January? They're all asking, like, why is Warren Buffett selling into cash? All questions that matter. But yeah, who cares? Bitcoin's pumping.
He said, okay, high risk. Let's go. I like this guy.
Yeah.
But good, interesting point. I think the reason people are calling for a higher rate cut now is a reactionary thing to China, which I don't believe Powell will react to, because he doesn't want to show, any concern. I guess he wants to show confidence in the markets. I don't know. I was on 25 basis points last time and I was wrong, but I'm going to stay there this time. Which
again could just equate to higher prices for Bitcoin. That's where you could actually get $120,000 Bitcoin, but you don't have the alt season that everybody's screaming about. Like, obviously altcoins will move with it, but again, it'll still be Bitcoin's leading 60% of the market. And that could be just very well because of the uncertainty in the market. And that's why gold's hitting all-time highs, silver's running, copper's running, commodities start to run, Bitcoin starts to run. Something to just keep in mind and at the back of the head as we move towards elections and new legislative and domestic policy. So
yeah, I'm a lot more bullish than you are. 120 is so conservative. I say all things run, all markets go, risk on like crazy.
I'm speaking like in 6 months though.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I think China's stimulus doesn't stop. We don't stop. Like, we've been in an economic battle with them since 2008. They're learning, they're adapting, and they're getting more aggressive with what they're doing. And now we're going to have to react, because if we don't, like, we hold all their debt, they hold all our debt. Who can devalue it faster? That's the game we're in. So it's like, and everybody else holding dollars and yuan, they're all collateral damage caught in the crossfire. So that's why you need to hold assets and commodities to be able, because those are the beneficiary of this battle. And so, and that's what people have to get their heads around. It is like, you'll look at the charts of the money inflation, the global liquidity, the amount that's been printed
global
since
liquidity
then.
is insane.
It's insane. They're not going to stop. This is like I said, it's an economic battle that's been going on for a long time. And these things are not fought with men on the ground and bombs and guns anymore. It's fought with economic policy, with shifting things around. So I'm still holding strong that this is going to be the craziest bull run we've experienced in my entire almost decade in crypto at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just so cautiously optimistic. But here's the deal: if it does hit those prices, dinner's on me for a week. we'll cheers over some drinks in the islands down south.
Steve-O loves DZ back in the chat. Yo, love and miss you guys. We finally. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just reading off his super chat. Love Steve-O. He talks to us all the time.
Yeah, appreciate you, Steve-O. And he says he loves DZ. Let's get some prayers in the chat for DZ and his some salutes as his house sinks like the Titanic. But guys, I want to get your Bitcoin price predictions. Let us know in the chat. 120,000, 150,000. What do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin's price in 2025? Let us know those price predictions. We are getting, it looks like, I want to see this breakout live. I'm hoping to open this with you guys live. We're at about 66,300, inching towards that EI of 22. Would love to break that out as you guys give us those Bitcoin price predictions. But US spot Bitcoin ETFs. This is insane, TJ.
Yeah.
Sees record $365 million in inflows and 6-day winning streak. That is insane. So if you guys don't know, let me zoom in on this chart. Starting to learn how to do that. BlackRock's IBIT also sees inflow. So BlackRock, the largest Bitcoin ETF in terms of net assets, followed closely with $93 million in net inflows. However, it wasn't a perfect day for all players. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was the only ETF to still be reporting outflows. Boo. I mean, dude, Grayscale's been holding us back here. But the rally has been fueled by more rapid stimulus measures to revive the struggling Chinese economy, which has led to renowned macro observers to turn explicitly bullish on all risk assets in the interim. So this is in synchronized global easing movements is, of course, going to just equate to more quantitative easing, which for you guys that don't know, just simply means money is going to become easier to borrow. And of course, we're going to see a lot more liquidity injected into these markets, which usually coincides with a rally in risk on assets. So really good to see here. That's coming from Kip Heriage on X here. Good post there. I agree with it. BlackRock has bought more Bitcoin this week.
Look at that.
Than any ETF has sold in the past 3 weeks.
They're
Check
buying
out this image.
everything. Look at that.
So I'm guessing these are the wow. That is insane. So
talk about massive accumulation.
Yeah, if you guys can't see this, everything being sold, everything coming into this market is all going to good old BlackRock. And maybe it's the other way around, but either way, they're just absorbing this entire sell-off. So yeah, follow the institutions. This is clear as day at this point. This is no longer us debating whether or not Bitcoin is a store of value or a hedge against inflation and, you know, the whole nine. It is being absorbed for whatever sell-off we do see here. Nearly 400 million into spot Bitcoin ETFs today. For context, out of 500 Ethereum or ETFs launched in 2024, less than 25 have taken this amount in for the entire year. So yeah, in one day, wow, holy smokes.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. These ETFs are insane performance, like nothing that the institutional world has ever seen. Highest and best performing ETFs of all time ever, period. Doing more in a day than most do in a year. It's crazy. People are sleeping on this.
So in one day, Bitcoin ETFs are taking in more inflows than the top 25 ETFs launched this year in an entire year. That is just insane.
It is insane.
You can't even put that out on a table, how much money that is and how much is moving into these compared to every other fund. That is just absurd. So clearly, guys, this ain't slowing down. BlackRock's highlights Bitcoin unique properties as approved IBIT options could cement risk-off status. This is something also nobody's been talking about, but is something we've actually covered a few times on this channel on what could be another catalyst for this market movement, which is BlackRock releasing a report last week titled Bitcoin as a Unique Diversifier. The investment giant, let me zoom in on just a little bit here. The investment giant identified 4 key points from the report. First, how to analyze Bitcoin in relation to traditional financial assets due to its fundamental properties, such as not having a quarterly earnings report or a CEO. Second, Bitcoin's high volatility can be perceived as a risky asset, which contributes to the discussion that whether it is a risk-on asset or a risk-off asset. The token could be considered a flight to safety option, as mentioned by, of course, Larry Fink multiple times, and as an option because it is scarce, non-sovereign, and decentralized. Lastly, point number 4, BlackRock pointed out that the long-term adoption of Bitcoin may come from global instability. And this is exactly what TJ's been talking about. It's something we've actually all covered with like BRICS and the downfall of the US dollar, where it's not necessarily going to go away. You know, people like to radicalize every conversation in today's society at this point. You can no longer just be one position. You can't find common sense or middle ground. You have to be one side or the other. I feel like the economy is so polarized and radicalized in that sense. It's very scary. But this brings around the conversation of like, what does it mean for China to be accumulating more gold and silver than ever, creating stronger foreign relations with Russia and other partners, part of the Belt and Road Initiative? You know, you have half your populace is going to say, oh, that's never going to be a threat to the US dollar. Then the other half is saying, oh, the US dollar is going to collapse and we're going to go to the Civil War. And it's like these idiots, these polarized radical individuals need to just have the discussion and realize what does it mean? It just simply means instability. And in that time of instability, you're going to have better performers in assets like Bitcoin or, of course, gold or silver. So this is very bullish for markets overall. The debate is whether or not China can actually dig itself out of the rut that it's in. Are they going to have to inject more stimulus earlier next year? Are the Feds going to cut by 50 basis points, 75 basis points? How far are they going to pivot? And this risk of instability could equate to larger highs on Bitcoin's price here. So
do you have Slack on that computer?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. Well, I might be able to sign in, but I don't want to sign in right now because it will.
Well, I won't show anything. I was just curious if you could pull it up. I don't have it on this computer either, but I put some stuff in that crypto research.
Oh yeah. Here, hold up.
And then there's a couple in there, a couple graphs that show the China stock market today after the
Here you go.
liquidity. You got it?
This is a perfect example. This is
look at that.
The Dixie versus yen versus global liquidity. So the Dixie and the yen falling at the same time is what's causing the Feds to, one, have the 50 basis point rate cut. But look at global liquidity. So they're being forced to print more and more money, which is so this is how this works, guys, right? So they're being forced because of market conditions to make money easier and easier. It's going to bring down the value of the dollar and the yen, but it's going to bring more money into global liquidity. And of course, Bitcoin is following that pattern. So two negatives, is that making a positive, TJ? Is that how that works? We learned that in math in third grade. Look
exactly.
at that.
And then can you pull up, there should be just a little bit above that.
Zero hedge.
Like a big, it'll show a big green candle on the stock market. Oh, not that one. There it is.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's the China stock market today on the money that they're pumping into So money's flowing in. It's going to make it's going to have a huge impact. That, the other chart you just showed obviously has a big impact too. This is coming and it's not stopping, and this is the battle that we're in. So just print money, pump it up. The biggest weekly gain since 2008. And so that's what I'm saying. We're right back there. People don't realize we're in the exact same financial kind of quandary that we were in 2008, where there's not enough money to go around to service all the debts. Got to put more money into the system to keep all this debt cycle going. And it's going to take way more this time than it took way more in 2020 than it took in 2008. It's going to take more in 2025 than it took in 2020. The window that is tightening there, the amount of time between potential crashes is smaller. The amount of money is bigger every time. The amount it's taking to service this debt is insane. BlackRock can see it. The Fed can see it. Everybody knows there's no fixing this system. We just have to create a new system and try to migrate as much over as we can to that new system without breaking everything in the meantime. That is where we are right now. That is what's happening. And that's why the new system is Bitcoin. The new system is crypto. If you're not in there, you're going to get left behind. Institutions have learned that now. BlackRock has learned that now. BNY Mellon has learned that now. Federal reserves all around the world have realized that, and they're waking up to it. We got to front run it. We are ahead of the new financial system, and they're building it right in front of us. Just buy Bitcoin and hold on and ride the rocket ship.
I want to go back to this chart here because we need to explain this for everybody that might not understand what this means for themselves, because this is going to impact every single person watching this stream right now. And to point of what TJ's talking about in terms of, is the economy going to break? Can they save us out of this? Can we inject enough liquidity to support that system? What you guys need to realize is as global liquidity rises and the value of the dollar drops, this means your purchasing power is going to drop due to inflation. So this is why, this is seriously the most important time in history to stop fucking watching Netflix and seriously go get a side gig or a side job and try to get whatever you can, whether just Ubering, getting that money up so you can invest into these markets, because inflation's not going to go anywhere. So even though Bitcoin starts to rise, altcoins and risk-on assets start to rise, because institutions have the money, not retail. So if you want to be able to take advantage of this game, you have to realize, guys, your purchasing power for your dollar is going to drop, which means you're going to be able to accumulate less than you actually may have wanted to 2 years ago. So just keep that into mind as we move into this lower interest rate environment and we compete with kind of China in what I like to say is a liquidity bubble at $91 trillion. And it's insane to watch. So yeah, keep that in mind here. Let's move to the next article, though. That was a great explanation, though. Thanks for pulling those up.
Yeah.
Ki Young Ju here, someone I love. This is a founder of CryptoQuant. He said Bitcoin won all the FUD this year. The market absorbed Mt. Gox and German Bitcoin selling with minimal impact as data predicted. Yeah, can we? I want to see how many of you in chat, type 1 in chat, if you remember everybody claiming that Bitcoin was going to die because of Mt. Gox or the German selling Bitcoin. I feel like when we were in that week, everybody was calling for 3,000 Bitcoin.
I can't with all these bears. Yeah, new lows coming. We're going below 15K. It's give me a break. There's no way we're going below 15K. Look at what's going on in the market right now. Now is the time. I love what you just said about getting every dollar you can in right now, or you will get left behind. It is the time to prepare. Inflation is not transitory. Inflation is not going away. You have to learn to manage your life with inflation, knowing that your buying power of the dollar, knowing that saving in your local fiat currency is not saving for your future. Your job is to generate income and revenue in your local currency, and then take that currency and get it into appreciating asset as fast as you possibly can. And that's just the new reality we live in, and that will be the new financial system. That, hey, all this paper money that flows around, it'll take 30 years to replace this system, but by the time people like us, the next generation, comes around, they will think it was so insane the way we used to run things before. And it will be, yeah, I get paid in this, and then I convert it to that. I save in this. I hold Bitcoin, or I hold, whatever people hold. I do think a lot of people will be holding Ethereum and then lending out against Bitcoin, lending out against Bitcoin in the future.
Even ETH, they have spot ETFs. I think you'll see that move into a lot of DeFi ecosystems.
Totally. DeFi will be the new future, and there will be the new index funds will be that way. Everyday people will move their cash into these funds that are managed on chain. Everybody can see it. It will be transparent. And there is a world, and I do see a bright future with on-chain trading and on-chain money bringing us into the reality that we all know is possible.
Yeah, and you were talking about the treasury. So if you guys are now kind of realizing what we're talking about, this is why we've been covering the treasuries on-chain. So like, again, tokenized treasury, that tokenization is the institutional interest. Make sure you guys pay attention and check that out. But yeah, very interesting chart here. So scary sides of Bitcoin sell side liquidity. So another one you're going to probably hear, guys, is the FTX payouts that are incoming. Those are going to collapse the markets again. Just realize, here's a chart of what the realized cap for Mt. Gox was compared to the total realized cap. So yeah, it was a nothing burger.
Well, and the FTX repayments aren't going to collapse the market. They're absolutely going to send it. They're paying back $16 billion in cash to people that were crypto holders that already know everything we just talked about. And they know, I don't want to be they see what's coming. I don't want to be in cash for the next year. I want to get that cash as fast as I can back into crypto. Solana, probably. They're probably Solana holders if they were FTX users. Bitcoin, definitely. Other altcoins, most likely. So yeah, 16 billion more coming in from the FTX holders and users. That will pump the market. Mt. Gox repayment pretty much finished at this point. There's only Celsius repaid their largest people cash recently. That's coming back into the market. The markets are sending. I'm just telling you guys, this is the time.
Let me check.
We've been waiting for this for 3 years. If I seem a little too excited, it's because this has been a long time coming. We're not there yet. RWA pump soon, says Alex Diev. All of this stuff is going to be pumping, and you will get hilariously rich, or as Bitcoin Hodl says, fabulously wealthy. Buy Bitcoin, shut up, get fabulously wealthy. That is the playbook for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I have to completely agree. Now, we do have to splash some cold water on all of our bullishness. I can literally see TJ pitching a tent under the table from over here.
I'm just going to leave.
He's going to walk out. But we have the Deribit CEO warning about some volatility. Watch out for Friday. So it's Friday, and it looks like the volatility was to the upside.
Yeah.
But there is a $5.8 billion earthquake. He should have used the term hurricane because we were just we were in one. But the Fed's interest rate cut has boosted Bitcoin. Of course, I'm not even going to pronounce. I'm going to just say Luke. The crazy spelling for Luke here said that a significant amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum open interest will expire on Friday, which could cause price fluctuations. Accordingly to 90,000 Bitcoin options worth $5.8 billion of the B and $1.9 billion of the B for Ethereum options are expected to expire on September 27th. Speaking to CoinDesk, Deribit CEO stated that around 20% of expiring Bitcoin options are in the money. 5.8 billion worth of Bitcoin options are expiring with about 20% in the money. This larger maturity is likely to increase market volatility or activity as investors close or roll over their positions. This can also affect prices and lead to price fluctuations. That's crazy. Markets move up and down. Citing SEC options tied to BlackRock's ETF IBIT as an example, the famous CEO stated that this approval could accelerate institutional adoption and would reflect positively on the price in the coming months. One of the biggest potential drivers for a Bitcoin ain't baby driver, it's options in ETFs. The SEC has approved them, but the OCC and the CFTC have not yet, of course, approved them and are unlikely to do so this week. But I would like to say, since the SEC already approved them and the CFTC has favored Bitcoin in a way more what should I say, legitimized way for years at this point. They've never looked at Bitcoin really as, they've been an advocate against the SEC. They've been saying, hey, you guys need to stop using regulation by enforcement. You guys are cucks. And anyways, I'm going to digress from that situation. I do think they will pass this.
Yeah,
but however, the pricing of options expiring in the coming months indicated a bullish outlook. The Bitcoin and Ethereum put call skew is negative after the September expiration. And this is a bullish indicator as calls are relatively more expensive than puts. So the takeaway here, guys, is whenever markets get really shitty, I need to go on a 2-week-long vacation.
Yeah.
Because before the 2 weeks I took off, this was all flipped completely the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some of your top traders talking about 90% Bitcoin price corrections. This was still around the talks of a 25 basis point interest rate cut. And if not, the Feds were going to even cut rates at all. Things change massively in 2 weeks in this market. It just goes to show, I have to tell you guys this, I feel more refreshed than ever taking 2 weeks. The markets are going to be here in 2 weeks. If you have a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of stress, you're getting that FOMO, you're getting that urge, just breathe. Just put the phone down, take a step back, come back in 2 weeks. It will give you a lot of clarity because, wow, I love seeing the price fluctuations here.
I think they will approve these things. Obviously, they've been running on Durbit and I believe CME for quite some time, so there's really not a reason not to. We already, the reason it's so big is they have weeklies, but they also have quarterlies, right? So this is the end of the quarter. These are all the quarterly contracts that usually these roll over. I predict that they will start to wind down some of these things, and you're going to see a lot of the traders that were on Durbit or Deribit, however you pronounce it, move over to iBit in the future. And this is extremely beneficial because it's a way for these institutions to turn Bitcoin into something that can produce cash flow for them without actually having for it to move. I mean, this is kind of paper trading a little bit Bitcoin somewhat, where you're buying, you have paper contracts, option contracts on what the price might do in the future, and they can use that to hedge. They can use that for more sophisticated positioning, and we're going to see them scoop up all the Bitcoin, hold all the Bitcoin, and then trade options against it. It is the new future, and we've got Dramula saying DAG pumping again. A huge shout out to Constellation DAG, partner on the channel. Love having them on here. And as Josh mentioned at the top of the show, make sure you check out that Hi-Fi, DeFi? What was that? High def. Yeah.
High def 2024. That is October 24th, guys. You can tune in live. Let me go over to the website here for you guys. You guys should all do this. Like if you guys actually want to take investing seriously, like whether you like DAG or not, this is going to be a very, very important conference just to tune into. It's the High Def Conference 2024. You can register now. You can tune in virtually. So if you guys have questions over AI advancements, IBM government contracts, you want to get to understand, more about what the future of on-chain governance and surveillance might look like. Yes, guys, it's the world that we're moving towards. This is something you should tune into because they're going to talk about GPU rendering, cloud services, data storage. That is what we talked about here. And you want to tune in those innovations and insights. So again, check out Constellation DAG there for you guys. That is less than a month away. All you do is click on register now here. And of course, tune in. And it's a virtual, it's free. It's completely free. You do not have to pay, okay? Because I think honestly, all information like this should be free. And they're covering the cost for you, and that's why they're able to power things like, of course, our studio here. They're great people over at Constellation DAG. Go click that register now and join that event completely for free. And if you would like to, you can go to San Francisco, but I would personally recommend you just tune in virtually for free if you guys are on the other side of the world. But either way, guys, really cool to see be pointed out there. I had some huge takeaway I want to talk about, but we do have a $5 super chat.
Wait. Well, before you read that off, I mean, I need more news on that because when I pulled it up, that's a 55K market cap coin. So I don't, unless it's
on DAG.
No. He's talking about that where you're talking about Sin Crypto Conrad, that super chat.
Oh, yeah, I was going to literally just be like, that is a 10 out of 10 red flag risk token that if you're throwing money into it, could go poof.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I'm just, if it's the one I pulled up, it has 55K market cap. So I'm not going to read that.
Ooh, yeah, we'll leave that
stream.
one in the hush money, so to speak. We'll pay off never mind. Well, you're throwing me off here. I was going to pull up one thing, though, because I actually saw that investor in the chat here. I had a great decentralized science Twitter space yesterday talking about kind of the acceleration of DeSci. There's a lot of longevity advancements and stuff. And I do want to remind you guys, one of the last things CZ said that he was looking to get into as a new area and sector. I would pull up the post here, but I am blocked by CZ because unfortunately I was calling out a lot of the things that Binance was doing. Unfortunately, a lot of it came true,
See,
but at the same time, I look at it completely different now. I think
you're blocked by CZ. CZ follows me. This is why we're different.
that is why we're a perfect duo here. I do have to make a public apology. Well, I've already said it and done it twice, but either way, I think the perspective I had on it was like he couldn't stop what was taking place, and no matter what, someone like CZ had to exist to be able to break us out of that current exchange system that we were a part of. So with that, there is going to be evil, but there is also good that comes from that. Just a completely different perspective now after seeing what happened to him and only getting like a 4-month sentence. I was like, okay, this guy just made the biggest brain billion-dollar deal of a lifetime. 4 months in prison for $60 billion. Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up for that? I'm sorry. But either way, biotech. Biotech is what he's interested in. I can't pull up the tweet just here, but hey, just want you guys know, he might not come back to Binance. They say that he can't come directly back to Binance.
No, he won't.
So maybe he steps back in a little bit more into what he was researching before all this ran down, which of course was longevity and biosciences. So pay attention to that. There could be some gains moving out of that as he comes back from his prison sentence here. Bitcoin likely to hit New Year all-time highs before the end of the year, says Kevin Svensson. American Pool Guy, $2 super chat. TJ, any loose 2025 price predictions for Aerodrome?
No, I'm not ready to make a price prediction on that one yet. I have to do a little bit more research. I just think we will go into price discovery. It will do extremely well. I think it's a good bet with Base and BlackRock and everybody behind it. It will be high, but I don't know. I don't have a target number yet, but let's stay tuned on that. And maybe we'll talk a little bit with the members, which shout out. We did drop a members only video. I don't know if we put the intro on there, but we wanted to hear from the members. If you liked that style of video, we might do more of that style in the future. So if you are a member, let us know on that video. If you guys don't know how to be a member, you can click that join button. We've got a lot of stuff we've been working on here behind the scenes that we're going to be rolling out here for members soon. A lot of trading streams, a lot of portfolio allocation kind of guides. So best way to get that information is become a member, hit that join button, and a lot of stuff. You're going to want to be a member for 2020, this Q4 and all of 2025, because like Josh said at the top of the stream, now is the time to set yourself apart. If you do this right over the next 12 months, you can go on vacation for 2 years after that.
I do want to point out, DZ did just drop an Aerodrome video. So if you want to learn more about Aerodrome and maybe his price predictions, go check out his 2025 video here. That was posted 2 days ago, almost at 10,000 views. You guys seem to love Aerodrome, so make sure you guys go tune into that video for you guys. But Kevin Svensson here, talking about a new Bitcoin all-time high in a new strategy session. Svensson tells his 79,000 YouTube subscribers that Bitcoin remains in a macro uptrend. It could soon soar past $74,000. But there's some downside risk in the short term, which would be Bitcoin retesting the breakout zone around $58,000 and then settling up before actually getting a breakout, retesting the RSI Relative Strength Index resistance as new support and around the 50 level before getting to overbought levels. So seeing, we've been on a pretty big tear right now. Could be, this is what let me get my utensil out for you guys. So what he is saying, we might get a retest of the breakout, which is actually very normal. It's very healthy. That is what happens in a lot of pattern movements, which would also coincide with a retest of this breakout pattern on the RSI, which would allow for that breakout to $74,000 to $80,000 Bitcoin. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to happen like he said, but you do have to analyze the risks that do exist in that market, and just make sure, that's why you never want to FOMO. That's why you want a dollar cost average, because anything can happen in these Bitcoin markets here. Axel, the average rally this last year lasts 25 days compared to 35 days over the past 15 years. That's the minimum we can actually expect. However, the favorable macro conditions in the markets, I think a 100-day rally is more than realistic. That's purely based on my feeling in my gut. So this just goes to show, guys, over the last 15 years, those insane rallies that you get into those bull markets were 35 days. They're getting shorter and shorter over time. So just understand, when you guys are moving, when you start seeing altcoins rip, and I mean rip, just take some profits, right? There's always going to be pullbacks. There's always going to be buys. There's always going to be sells. And it's no man went broke taking profits ever. Gary Guzler here pulling up on the screen. Bitcoin SEC chairman. Gary Gensler talks about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, comments on Mark Cuban's request. Mark Shilbin for the Democratic Party here is trying to replace, of course, Gary Gensler as the head of the SEC. I don't necessarily think Cuban could do it. I want to know. Do you think Cuban could do a better job than Gary Gensler?
I mean, it feels like almost anybody could do a better job than Gary Gensler, but Mark Cuban's statements recently haven't given me a lot of confidence when it comes to his intelligence. That was something we were talking about right at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if he's a mad genius and he's saying insane things just to get tons of media attention, because that's definitely working. But no, I'd much rather see.
I would want someone that's been in crypto legislation for like years. Like,
yeah,
I want someone that's very pro crypto, that understands the legalities, that like is very, trying to make it safe and not necessarily use it to like propagate their position or their political position and power to run for president. I think Mark Cuban's going to try to run in 2028. I do, or 2032, one or the other. But it's funny because Squawkbox asked Gary Gensler how he felt about Mark Cuban, and he said, "I feel honored to be in this job, and if Mr. Cuban wants the job, it's because it's one of the best jobs in Washington." Very interesting take there. What do you guys think? Do you think Mark Cuban would be a good SEC chair, yes or no? I'm going to be on the side of, I think, like you said, almost anybody could probably be better than Gary Gensler here. But personally, I think it's a power. He's using it as a political power play more than anything else.
My pick is Hester Pierce. Let's get Hester Pierce.
Yes. So there you go. I do agree with that. I 100% agree. That is what we need. By the way, I think that's who RFK and them have actually recommended as well. Shiba Inu is on fire right now. Yes, it is. Meme coins are pumping. Parliament member Joanne Kotar announces the formation of the Bitcoin Federal Association in the parliament. Huge moves for the parliament out here, I believe in Germany, for financial education on Bitcoin. Big W's in the chat. Mike Anthony with another $5 super chat. High risk 1 year, would you recommend Aerodrome or what else for the most growth? I would say probably Ondo. That's going to be less higher risk, but I would say Ondo. And I'm a huge Ondo guy right now.
Yeah, you're big Ondo. I'll say, let's see.
I would say like Athena or something too, though.
Athena, Wormhole, Injective, Near. A lot of these aren't necessarily high risk in my opinion, but they're high growth. Layer 0, that might be a little high risk, high growth potential. That's a lot lower on the market cap. Aether, I've been looking into Aether during this stream. Actually does look pretty good. Lower cap at decent price place. Big support from Token 2049. A lot of strong people behind it. So there's a few for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of great plays out there right now. I think even Bitcoin Layer 2 Stack, still one of the best performers. No one talks about it. Still one of the best performers this alt season. I think it's actually, let's pull up Stacks really quick. Largest Bitcoin Layer 2. This is going to still be, what is it at today? It's actually down a little bit today. It's at $2 though. So this is something we called at 46 cents. And again, you look at that max time frame, one of the best movers this entire altcoin market. So I would say just there's a lot of good altcoins out there that have a lot of potential here moving forward. But into the last, or not into the last, but Grayscale unveils top 20 cryptos. So guys, here are the top 20 cryptos Grayscale unveils with high potential. To answer that question, what are those high-risk cryptos that you're looking for? This is coming from Grayscale, one of the largest institutions in the crypto game. But guess what, guys? They left out none other than XRP. Is that a W or an L? They left out XRP. W or L in the chat. Grayscale left out XRP from their top 20 list. Their top 20 list includes, let me scroll down to here. I'm just going to jump into it. Grayscale's top 20 list has expanded to include several assets reflecting the latest trends in the digital asset space. SUI, that's got added. SUI, BitTensor, a decentralized AI platform. Helium, interesting. Inclusions underscores market interest in decentralized physical infrastructure. That's their DPIN play. And then actually we'd have to look up the rest, but they got UMA in there, CeeLo. CeeLo's another big one. Optimism.
Interesting. CeeLo's getting a lot of nods lately. Even Vitalik, we covered it yesterday, giving a nod to CeeLo or Cello. It's interesting seeing that one climb the ranks, or at least from the institutional. And then again, you guys, we need to pay more attention this cycle to what institutions are saying than ever. So this is a great list to watch. Coinbase Venture is a good one to watch. Jump. What is Andreessen Horowitz doing? What is A16? Well, same thing. So yeah, watch those.
It could mean that they think that appeal is going to be stronger than people might anticipate. But yeah, very interesting to watch them add CeeLo. And then of course, Solana is the biggest one on that platform. So
look, Zen of Gavin, and I feel for all these crypto holders or these XRP holders. He's saying they don't want people buying XRP because they think XRP is going to the moon. They don't want retail to get rich. I just want to put that to bed. Like if you've been holding XRP this whole time, the amount of opportunity cost that you've missed out on is dramatic. We flipped everything from XRP into Solana a while back. Couldn't be happier. What you could have done if you've swapped that into Arrow, into Ondo, into many of these coins we've talked about on the stream, you would have made all your money back that you potentially lost, and it's been suppressed. And there's no sign that it's going to change the suppression. There's no sign that Ripple will stop selling. Ripple's putting all their money behind the IPO. Like, if you want to invest in Ripple, go buy their IPO if you can. I guess a lot of people can't, but I feel for these people that have been holding and holding and holding and holding and holding and holding for a 10%, a 15%. You're probably down, and you're hoping that holding it long enough will get you back up. Sitting and waiting on with something with XRP hasn't worked. We've seen it for 6 years now. I'm not saying it can't pump. I'm not saying you won't get some gains through this cycle. I'm just saying there's so much more opportunity out there. If you want to just set it and forget it, that's fine, and put new money into new coins. But telling people to go all in on XRP, to not move on, you're just getting trapped. And I
keep seeing the creators come out there like, XRP can pump at any moment, and it's like, like you've been saying that since 2017.
Sure, it can, but it hasn't for the last 6 years. So, do with that as you will. I guess if you want to hold it, it's your choice. It's your money, your coins. But it kills me to see people waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and missing so many good opportunities.
I 100% agree, and I actually found the list here. So the full list, and there's actually a token on here that I'm like, I told you guys here.
Zoom it.
So this is as far as I can go.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So, I could probably actually do this though. Watch this. Let's close this. Boom. Open image, a new tab. There you go. That better?
Oh yeah,
look at that. Look at that. So look at this. So we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Toncoin, Chainlink, Near, Uniswap, Sui, BitTensor, Stacks. Stacks is on there, largest Bitcoin layer 2 platform out there. Optimism. Hey, Velodrome. Aerodrome is to Base as Velodrome is to Optimism.
Look, Aerodrome's on there.
Is Aerodrome on here too? Yep. Oh, Aerodrome is on here. Interesting that they don't have Velodrome, even though it is, of course, the parent company, and it is the liquidity provider for Optimism.
That's actually a pretty sick list right there.
That list right there,
I might swap a couple of those. I might swap Helium out. I might swap Lido out long term, but they're going on-chain DAO type stuff. They've got Maker in there, which is rebranding to Sky, Cello, Uma. That right there, like, we should do a video on that. Like, you could build a very strong portfolio just off that list.
I'll do a rating portfolio for this weekend on it. Rating Grayscale's top 20 crypto. But something I do want to point out here is the other one on here that I think people are sleeping on is Maker. They're going to be changing to Sky. But Maker has a $1 billion, guess what, tokenized treasury fund that none other than, like, I think Athena, Wormhole, Ondo, they're all actually competing for to get access to a lot of that liquidity that will be being injected into the RWA market, which, guys, here you go. Shit Finex here. Tokenized assets set to exceed $20 billion in the coming year. And this is honestly just a huge takeaway because we're at 2.2 billion right now. This is almost a 10x from where we are today, and this is going to be huge for a lot of our favorite altcoins. And we're going to be covering some of those altcoins and opening a trade right now in the members-only stream, guys. So thank you for being here, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out today. Turn on those post notifications and stop missing out. And if you guys haven't already, go over to my Twitter, okay? If you guys want to follow our trades, go over to Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter. Click on the link here. We'll share it in the chat for you guys right now. I'm doing a $100 giveaway for you guys that like and repost and follow this account. But as well, go join this Telegram link right now, guys. This is where I'm putting out all my calls, all my latest calls. There's 5 full-time traders in there teaching you how to buy, sell, trade, scalp trade, pro trade, swing trade, whatever you want, full-time with CoinW. So if you guys want to learn how to trade, that's where you need to be, guys. We will see you in the member stream. Peace out.